Hey everyone, it's me. It is cold in Wisconsin, but I want to talk about eons ago, which is years ago, maybe just 30 years ago, not too long ago, but years ago. And even people that are older than me and slightly younger can attest to this because years ago, this is years ago. I'm not going to repeat myself again, but in our family, I had, a big family, and my grandmothers were absolutely amazing. I'm telling you, I was blessed with the absolute most wonderful grandmothers, and I miss them. It is, it's, I wish they were still here. You can't live forever, but I had the most wonderful grandmothers who loved us children. Their grandchildren were their legacy. My maternal grandmother, Cecilia, was just an angel, and she was a, Christian woman. Sorry, teary, just very difficult. So I was raised with two amazing grandmothers. My maternal grandmother, like I said, she was an angel, had 8 children, so on and so forth. We had a multitude of, grandchildren in our family, and first and second, third cousins, and just amazing. We were always together for holidays. And then my paternal grandmother, Grandma Helen, just lived for us children, my sisters and I. And then subsequently we had more, I had more cousins on my dad's side, but just lived for us kids. We were always together. She would sit on the floor with us. She interacted, played. She was a hands-on grandmother, and I was blessed beyond belief. Still to this day, I'm just tearing up because I just loved them so much. And then moving on, they were wonderful mother-in-laws too. I think for sure my mom's mom was a wonderful mother-in-law. My dad's mom was a good mother-in-law. She said things off the cuff once in a while, and she was, she is a little spitfire. She was cute, So anyways, she was a wonderful grandmother as well. And so being in our family, you had all these in-laws, and some of your in-laws you got along with, and some you really, were challenging to be around, but for the sake of the family, you put up with them, and you just knew. You were with them for a short amount of time, and then you went home and you did your own thing, and you talked about them later. And so, just looking back so many years ago, then moving on to when I got married, married someone, we had 2 daughters, and unfortunately, my experience with a mother-in-law was not that on the same playing field as what my mom's brothers and sisters and their spouses had experience with my grandmothers, because my mother-in-law was a challenge, and my then ex-husband disclosed that his mother had abused him, had called him derogatory names, stupid, dumb, idiot. She had been an alcoholic, so she was always drinking. Even when they come to our home, she'd bring her own beer and things like that, and she just would not say nice things, whatever the case was. And I just remember I didn't have a voice, so I didn't really say a whole lot, nor did I really challenge her. I'd say, I would try to find common ground with her and try to keep it on a really easy level. And the reason people of my generation or my age did that, even if you had a challenging in-law, was for the sake of the family, for the sake of, my father-in-law was just the most wonderful person. He was loving and kind. He loved being a grandpa. He was so good to the girls. And my brother-in-laws were just very nice people and just really great to be around. And so for the sake of the family and to avoid punishing everyone else, we put up with my mother-in-law. And it was one of those situations you just kept your mouth, you didn't keep your mouth shut. You realized going there, knowing that you were only going to be with them a certain amount of time, knowing that there were other people as buffers, made it easier. And I remember, because back then I had no voice, and I was very compliant and very subservient and very go with the flow for the sake of the family, for my father-in-law, my brother-in-laws, and my husband at that time. I kept my mouth shut, but I remember being so absolutely anxiety-ridden and sick to my stomach on the way up there, which was a 45-minute drive, getting up there and just knowing that what I would have to endure for those couple of hours, or holiday, the time we spent holidays with them and such. So that's what we did back then. It was you were tolerant of people and such for the sake of your spouse, your in-laws, because you don't want to punish other people because of this one particular person. So anyways, moving on to today. Today, since we have cancel culture, we don't have people that are tolerant, and we don't have people that stay together for the sake of the family. They simply do their own thing, cut off contact, opt not to deal with not just the person that they find challenging, but everybody else around them has to go too. And so everyone gets tossed in the garbage. And so there's a huge difference between the mindset, tolerance, patience, showing someone grace, showing someone kindness who particularly has not really been very kind, but also looking past the behavior of said person and wondering what caused this person to say certain things that to them they feel true, accurate, and valid, to behave certain ways, and to dig deeper. So there was a whole, like the blooming onion, the layers of the onion, all the layers that come into play where you feel probably sympathy for that person, because when you look at someone who is challenging, and someone who's difficult, and someone who speaks off the cuff, and someone who is not very nice, the one thing I have to say is, number one, I don't have to live with this person. Number two, we can limit our time with them. And number three, to show a little bit of compassion to someone that we feel may or may not deserve it goes a long way in the character of someone who is truly compassionate, kind, loving, and all that other stuff. So that's what I wanted to talk about, is the fact that years ago, the resilience that we had to sit in the same room with someone that caused nothing but drama, chaos, negativity, strife. There's just a lot to be said for that. And could we have cut him off? Why, number one, we could have. But number two, to punish my father-in-law at that time and his brothers, and then also punishing my then husband and our children, is not something I felt I had the right to do. So that's what I wanted to talk about, is then and now. And the cancel culture has gone to a whole new level. And there's nothing to be said for sitting in a room with someone that is very grinding. And it actually causes you to get a little bit stronger. And bite your tongue, even if you have to bite through your tongue. Who knows? But that's what I wanted to talk about, is then and now, the in-law situation. And and how we reacted to it before, and that's just the way it was. So anyways, I wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I hope this rings true to somebody, and we will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.